Well, members of Operation Dudula have been conducting raids on hijacked buildings in Rosettenville in the south of Johannesburg. The organization is lamenting what it calls a lengthy list of South African citizens awaiting houses while buildings are being taken over by illegal foreign nationals. Now, they accuse police also of not taking necessary action in order to combat the illegal occupation of properties by people of foreign descent, thereby allowing a mushrooming crisis of hijacked buildings. Now, the movement says the city of Johannesburg's revenue collection coffers are being drained by the illegal connection of both water and electricity, and also properties failing to pay their rates. The movement earlier engaged with the police explaining their plan of action.
We're going to have a smooth operation. There's about 40 properties that needs to be done today. And the vast motion is cut. So, commanders, I'm asking, there's nothing wrong that we are doing. Don't even feel ashamed. Don't even feel there is nothing wrong. They belong to the city. We have complainants here of the people who have been evicted from their homes by foreigners. So there's nothing wrong that we are doing. It's important that we cooperate, because you must think of an old lady that's here. Umama omdala ofuna indlu ola, because uphethe isifomu yaka 1996. So if we don't do it right, silwe namaphoyisa, then kuzoba neclash between us and the police, and then kuzogcina kulimala abantu. But we will not allow them to stop this operation. That's why I was asking you.
Who wants to go and lay the complaint?
All of us.
It cannot be everyone. All of you cannot lay a complaint. You must choose whoever you want to lay a complaint. We'll go with you to the police station. Choose whoever, then we will take you there.
That's complainants. That's why.
Sir, it's been an hour now, begging you that can we continue, and you decide not to do it.
Yes, cannot.
The thing that we know, we are always intimidated by you every time when we're supposed to have this point, as if we are criminals. When we're trying to do the right thing, we're saying to you, we're going to point out that this property is hijacked by illegal migrants. Then you, as a law enforcer, you decide what you want to do.
And now you're also contravening the Road Traffic Act, because you are blocking this road. You do not have authority.
We're
Road
not
Traffic
using
Act.
any main roads. We are in with
It doesn't matter. It's a main road.
Okay. I wrote something. Lena, you don't have any paper here. No. You're just going to show us or this. You give this.
Sir, did I say to you I can paper? Did I say to you I can paper?
No, what's where is those papers? Those papers? Because I'm not only one of people.
Calm down.
Legal papers.
Legal papers cover to buy illegal.
All right, well, we're going to continue with human rights activist Mr. Andeshina, who joins us here in studio as we look into the story of course, what we've just seen there in terms of Operation Dudula members removing illegal occupants from those illegally occupied buildings. And we've also seen a similar trend when it comes to the access to health facilities throughout this particular week. So, Andy, it's great to have you with us in studio. So what do you make of all these developments in the country? First of all, I want to say, on the part of the citizens, they have been emphatically calling on government to try and address the issue of, first of all, illegal immigration, the crime that is perpetuated by illegal immigration, and of course now the issues of the fact that rates are not being collected, which I suppose these are very legitimate reasons as to why they should then seek a redress if government is not going to do anything. Citizens are fed up.
Alicia, we are fed up. Everybody is fed up. But we have laws in this country. We have a constitution in this country. It protects the dignity of everybody.
True.
Everybody who is within South Africa. Let's do things lawfully. These individuals that are going around now are perpetuating vigilantism. And when the government takes no action against them, when they take no action from law enforcement against them, and let this situation boil out like this, I'm afraid, I've just come back from Sharpeville on Wednesday, and the first memory was the necklacing that took place in the 80s. It's almost moving that way now. We're allowing people just to say, I disagree. They don't even know the law. Many of them don't even know the law about what's been put in place to protect us all. Yeah. So we need to, if we are, we are a democracy, we're saying you disagree with something, let's use the formal avenues that are available. I do understand the city of Joburg as well. I mean, the groups like Dudula, I don't understand, because they have a representative attending the Commission of Inquiry, the Kempepe Commission of Inquiry. They've sat in there and listened to Justice Sisi Kempepe saying that the city has failed. I have never, ever seen any of them going to any of these officials' offices and dragging them out and saying, we are paying you to look after the buildings. We are paying you to do. You are not doing your job. People are just walking into the building. There's this concept of hijacking. We've already discussed it, at the commission. There's no such a thing as hijacking. The building is owned by somebody.
True.
And it's supposed to be managed by somebody.
True.
And we are paying a certain official, Helen Burgess, over 2 million rand a year in her salary. And she has not been looking after the building. How come these vigilante groups are not going to those ministers and saying, hey, guys, we are paying you to look after our buildings. You're not doing it. And now we know that there's a budget being set aside. Billions has been set aside to revamp buildings in the city of Joburg.
Let's talk about that budget, Andy. I know you wanted to show me some key allocations there. Maybe take us through the numbers there in terms of how we can, eventually look forward to some sort of solution to this current impasse.
Yeah, I think they're looking at, 2.4 billion for mixed-use development, 1.4 billion for southern farms. And there's a lot more coming up. But we also have the fact that the mayor once wanted 2 billion to renovate the Metro building in the middle of Braamfontein. It's an administration block. When groups are saying, let's have RDP housing, I deal with individuals in Alex Township where RDP housing has been implemented, but being sold by South Africans. Would then move into an informal settlement.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So the blame game continues.
But it's not the vast majority of the problem again, Andy. So let's talk about what needs to happen in terms of, as per guidance by the Constitution. How is this process supposed to unfold? What should the citizens be doing in order to, I suppose, highlight their voices, their pleas to go to the relevant people or authorities to address this situation as well as grievances? What should they do if they can't go to the streets and, cause a little bit of action to be taken seriously?
Alicia, we are so militant in the way we're preventing even people from going to public hospitals. So militant. I have not seen that same action against the officials who we are paying. I've never seen them go to any of the City of Joburg offices, rush into the mayor's office and say, I demand, and this is what we're paying you for. This is what we're paying. What they rather focus on is going to the vulnerable individuals that have run away from wars and economic strife, people that cannot protect themselves, and go and threaten them, push them around. We need to understand that there are laws. These organizations, if they feel that the legal process is too long, we know that SIRI, the Social Economic Rights Institute, as well as the Legal Resource Center, have brought a case against these individuals. And it's been set aside on the 10th of June. What they're doing is illegal. You cannot encourage people to do the illegal things. We want to know, why are they doing it now, after the budget has been approved? Why are they doing it now, when the Commission of Inquiry was put in place, and we visited over 200 buildings in the city of Joburg? We've already said, even the Constitutional Court judge has said, who is responsible? She has named the people that are involved. Why are these individuals in this group not going to to those individuals that are responsible for it. That's what we need to do. We can't be lawless, a lawless society.
Absolutely. No, we're all with you there, Andy. So, I mean, let's just look at, the current split, because we are blaming this on authorities at higher up level that are supposed to be upholding the rule of law and, in fact, enforcing the rule of law, right? We've got a current split between the GNU partners. We're just talking about that, Andy. Yeah. And one of the things that I find interesting, and I ask, is that what happens when the principal drivers of our narrative, of our well-being, are out feuding in Parliament, not addressing the critical issues on the ground? Who's then supposed to take their place and do their job?
Alicia, we have a legal process. If you really believe so strongly that this is not working and that individual is not doing their job, let's use the legal process. The legal process works. I sit here with my jacket. All these are the pillars of the Constitution.
We're celebrating 30 years of democracy.
100%. People say the Constitution don't work. Of course it works. You've got to claim it. You've got to claim these things. Where it says you have a right to housing, insist on it.
On your rights.
You've got to say, I want my dignity. I want my dignity. There's something going on which is illegal here. You are responsible for it. As a group, I am going to take you to court. I am going to use the justice system. But to go and attack people that can't defend themselves is not correct. As I say, the images when I was in Sharpeville on Wednesday of people that were necklace, I can still smell the flesh of burning people. I don't want that for our country. When I looked at the harsh poses of the lady at the Hillbrow Hospital the other day, pushing individuals and telling them they cannot access health care. What is that about? What is that about?
And it's quite interesting, Andy, because have you heard any official word from the relevant authorities since this dramatic action that we've seen been undertaken by the citizens? And this brings me back to what I'm asking. What should people do when they do not feel heard? We're not promoting violence. We're not promoting vigilantism, but we're saying people have a right to protect themselves as well as the areas where they reside under the Constitution that we're supposed to be exercising. But if other people come and encroach on that, then what happens in that instance, Andy? Let's get a clear solution here.
People like Siri, the Rights Institute, go to court when there's some injustice happening. They win the cases. Why can't we have the same approach here? Why can't individuals go to court? Why can't they form bodies and look at the law and see where we are failing, where these authorities are failing, and take them to court and let a judge make the decision and then continue to put pressure on them? That's the way to do things. Again, attacking vulnerable people is not resolving the issue. You have an individual that's claiming more than 2 million rand in things. And the mayor goes and promotes her to acting COO of the city of Joburg. We need to uprise against that and say, oh, this lady has not looked after a couple of buildings, and now you want her to look after the whole city.
Andy, we're going to leave it there. It's always great engaging with you, Mr. Andy Sheena, the human rights activist, on the current action by members of Operation Dudula, of course, removing some illegal occupants in those illegally occupied buildings in Rosettenville.